Questioning is very disturbing. To some of the comments, we've had little girls in bunk. We have people dying. And yet we've got officials that are charged with the responsibility for their protection, that are in their beds, they're sick, they're waiting for somebody else. I've not to this time heard about the establishment of a unified command center to handle these responses. But yet I'm more disturbed with your comments, Mr. Thomas. As a river authority charged with not only educating people, but exercising conservation measures, but you're also charged with responsibility of gauging that river and letting people know about the dangers. And the comments last week and testimony from your authority to our committee, it was clearly evident that in 2015 and later in 2023, it was recognized through studies that you paid for that there was a need for an early warning system. In your words, an alert system would have saved lives. And yet, you didn't do anything about it. You waited to receive grant money from some third-party source when you had the funds available in your budget that you collect property taxes for to protect the citizens of Kerr County. You had money in your budget to fund an alert system, but yet you chose not to. Would you care to elaborate on that for the benefit of this committee, on your reasoning for that? And ultimately, the funds that were in your reserve account, did you return those through property tax reductions? You chose that path?
Bill Rector,
Speak into the microphone. Speak into the microphone. We need to hear your response.
I think, is it working?
I can hear you now.
Thank you. Obviously, we have been frustrated over the years trying to institute flood control, trying to institute a system where that we can better inform our emergency managers of situations. We grew frustrated to the point where we said, we're going to do it ourselves. We're going to just take the bull by the horn. We're going to create our own system, and we're not going to ask for additional funds. That was out of frustration. We had tried since 2016, when I came on this board, to create a flood warning system in Kerr County repeatedly, year after year after year, working with various agencies, trying to work with them to obtain fundings, and finally we got to the point where we just need to do this. It is urgently needed, and we are going to do it, and that's what we did in 2023.
What did you do in 23? Did you establish an early flood warning system?
We began looking at putting this as a separate priority, dedicating funds to it, and we followed that with finding people to talk with us on what needed and what could be done, what was technically now available. We had a hydrologist talk to us in 2024 of September, and we heard him. We heard what he had to say, what could be offered to our county, and we moved immediately in our next board meeting to moving forward with that project. And we issued, at the next meeting, January of 2025, we issued proposals, or requested for proposals for this system. And then by June 4th, we had actually hired a contractor, signed a contract to begin creating a system with our own money that would support flood warning in Kerr County.
I think your executive director last week had indicated that the board decided in 23 not to move forward because they could not achieve a grant request and have your money, the board's money, needed to have matching grants for outside money through a grant system from the state or somebody else. So I guess the concern I have is that you had the resources, you had the data, you had the studies that said this early warning system is a critical factor in the protection of lives, and yet you continued since 2016. I think you came on board in 16.
Yes, sir.
You continued to look down the road, if you will, and not really address the concern that your data showed. So that's particularly disturbing to me, to think about folks asleep in their cabins that could have been warned. I'm not saying that they might necessarily have saved their life, but certainly we have to ask the tough questions. The folks on this panel are charged with responsibility of protecting people, and we want to make sure that there's no impediment, if you will, to that protection by some sort of procedural mess or unconcern. In fact, let me ask, where is and who is Jeremy Hughes?
Dalton Rice, City Manager, City of Kerrville. So Jeremy Hughes had put in his retirement paperwork July 2nd prior to the event after serving over 2 decades. And so he retired, I think, on the 11th, I believe.
So he's the Emergency Management Coordinator for Kerrville?
Kerrville, yes, sir. So that position is a training battalion chief and with a separate function of Emergency Management Coordinator.
I think one of the problems that this process is showing is we have a lot of folks who have titles, but when the time came to act, they did not do so in a timely fashion. Mr. Thomas, the River Authority, we're going to have to take a look at your role and your responsibility to protect the lives and property of folks along this river basin.
Mr. Darby,
We would appreciate that.
just for the record, you're addressing Mr. Rector, and you said Mr. Thomas. I just want the record to reflect who you're questioning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rector. I'm sorry.
No problem.
I had Bill here, but I'm sorry. But you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.